AFTV, Julian. I mean, there's no positives to take out of today's performance. We watched the Man City game before we came here against Everton. I think there was a lot of fans hopeful that maybe Everton, after beating them, how did they beat them 5-1? But after beating Brighton 5-1, you're thinking maybe they could take a point at Goodison. City blew them away, and it's almost like all the fans coming here today were flat, and it looked like the players, they were the same way. I mean, that was a very, very poor performance by Arsenal today, and a very unrecognisable one.
Yeah, it was, but just going back to one of your points of how Brighton lost to Everton, for me that was a freak result. It's not as if they were that poor. They had something like 78% of the play. Everything Everton hit went in.
No, but Everton, to be fair, when I watched that game, they were aggressive. They closed, they didn't give them any time. They didn't give them any space. They were disciplined. We just let them play today. We just I don't know, there was no... Every time we did actually sort of really press them, they made a mistake that could have led to a goal, but it was just so poor today.
Yeah, we did, but we played the type of game where we did press them, and we were pressing them. We were just doing it in a controlled way. Now, it didn't work out for us today, but I think this season we've had 13 clean sheets. 10 of them have been away from home. Today was a shock, an absolute shock. I think I predicted that it would be a high-scoring game, which I was half right on. I mean, Brighton did score 3 goals, but when we came in here, it was flat. Coming out of the ground, I've not experienced this the whole season. One thing we did say, and I will agree with what you said, was this is the poorest performance of the season, but it's also the poorest result of the season, and it's also the poorest I've felt coming out of here, because previously we've had a situation where, okay, we've lost a game, we've drawn a game, but there's a chance. And we were coming out there and doing the maths, and I tried everything to look at, have we got a chance? And the reality is we've got to rely on City losing 2 games and drawing 1.
Which they're not going to do. I mean, it's done.
It hurts to actually come out.
You can say it because it is.
Yeah, and unless there is a God, and God is an Arsenal fan, it is absolutely done. It is done.
But it's a shame that it's like going out like this when you look at some of the results that are going to actually cost us the title. 3-0 against Brighton, Southampton draw. You know, I mean, you're looking at West Ham. You're looking at some games and you're thinking those are the games that are on. I mean, after last week, you go to Newcastle, one of the hardest places, to go in the Premier League, and get a result like that and then come back and do this. Strange.
Yeah, it was poor, but one thing, it's difficult now to put it into perspective, but I want to put this into perspective of where we are. I mean, Arteta was talking about a process, and we've been talking about it, and people have been laughing at it for the first couple of seasons, and now they take this process seriously. One thing Arteta said that I absolutely agree with, that we're still very early on and maybe a little bit ahead of time on this process. Yeah. And the other part of this perspective is where we've been to where we are, and also compare ourselves to every club. Now, one thing I was really disappointed with is after I think the 2nd or 3rd goal went in, the ground just cleared, absolutely cleared. There was probably about 1/3 of the people left. It almost seemed like the football fans are so fickle that they just completely lose the faith and they forget where we were to where we are now, and also what could be. You think about if you were a Southampton fan, how would you feel at the moment? If you were a Wigan fan, bottom of the Championship, if you were a Forest Green fan, what would you feel like? If you were a Rotherham fan or Rochdale, right at the bottom of the league, how would you feel? If you're a Tottenham fan, how would you feel right now? Because where we are, we're in 2nd place. It's not the best, but it's the 2nd best, and we have improved. And the other thing about it is, and I've heard the interviews before, and I've heard people kind of how they're talking, it's almost like, let's get rid of this one, let's get rid of that one, let's go spend 300 million. We don't need major surgery. We need a bit of a minor surgery. We need, yes, a few extra players, maybe a few will go. But the other thing I don't think we should forget is the team is still young, the team is improving. So look at Martin Odegaard. He's considered to be the closest to Kevin De Bruyne, but at the same age Kevin De Bruyne was, 24, he scored 7 goals. Odegaard has scored 14 goals this season, and they're improving, and they will continue to improve. So I don't think it's that bad. I think it's really, really great at the moment. It just isn't quite good enough.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.